Welcome to the new video. Here in this particular video, we are going to discuss about what is Docker Registry and why we need to use a registry first of all, and some common registries in the market and repositories, and how to pull a image, push a image, and tag image, like what exactly the image workflow will be there, life cycle, and real-time DevOps examples, and some best practices and tips. So without further ado, let's enter into the video and have a discussion around it. First of all, what is Docker registry? Okay, just think like your digital warehouse for Docker images. Okay, so Docker registry is a storage and distribution system for Docker images. Think of it as a cloud storage for your containerized application. Okay, how let's say in your computer you let store anything that will be stays locally only, right? So you can only accessible, and if you store in some cloud platform, then you can share that to others, and that will be accessible to them also. Okay, that is the use case here, what exactly means by cloud storage. And it basically allows sharing and versioning also for Docker images across the teams and environments. Okay, as we are discussing about Docker registry as a cloud service, which we can share the images, and we can maintain your versions, and we can share to the different teams. Okay, and let's say development, testing, or production, like different environments is there. Okay, so that consistency will be maintained in each and every environment by using a Docker images. Okay, so to make sure that the Docker registry is come into picture, that is the real use case and purpose of your Docker registry. And coming to the some non-technical analysis, like example we can say, like a library where you can store your books, organize and share the books. Okay, basically books in the sense Docker images. Okay, and then let's say if anyone with access can borrow the book, that means they can pull that particular image. Okay, borrow in the sense pull, remember this. Or they can also contribute in the sense push books to the collection. Okay, so here Docker image which is book, and borrow which is pull, and then push which is contribute. Just think like a library who with the proper access, they can access or read the books. Okay, which is basically Docker images, and they can get that also, they can pull that, and they can contribute also, they can push. That is the use case here. Okay, and coming to the why we need to use a Docker registry. Okay, so we need to understand like what exactly the power of centralized image management, why the centralized image management is required, what happens if we keep in locally only. Let's discuss around it. Basically, registry, that means centralized image management system, will makes team collaboration. Okay, so we can share the images instantly across the development, testing and production teams, and consistency will be maintained, collaboration will be maintained, and there will be a version control system also. We can track the different versions of your application with a tag like this. Okay, we can say semantic versioning this particular thing. Okay, and we one which is let's say if you have a one web application which is some vulnerable, and you found that and updated, and then you pushed that into a v2, I mean you give your tag as v2. Okay, and latest, if you don't give tag also, by default latest will be the tag. Okay, Docker itself considers as this tag. Okay, and coming to the automation, basically this centralized image management brings the automation also, where we can enable the CI/CD pipelines to automatically build, test and deploy your applications, and also global access, anyone from anywhere can access. Okay, you can deploy your application anywhere in the world with consistent results. Okay, that is the like why exactly we need centralized image management, which is a registry. Okay, and coming to the some Docker, sorry, DevOps benefits. So before registry and after registry, or else with registry. Okay, without registry, we need to manually image need to be shared among the teams, and there will be a inconsistent versions. Okay, and there will be a complex deployments. There will be I mean, these are the like problems we can say without registry. If you use the registry, there will be a automated workflows will be happened, and version will be consistent, and that will be maintained among the different environments, and seamless deployments. There is no hassles in the deployment process. That is the like use case of registry in DevOps especially. Okay, and moving to the next, here we are going to talk about some common registries and repositories. Okay, where to store your Docker images. Okay, we know Docker Hub. Okay, it is one of the popular registry. Okay, so along with that, we do have a multiple registries also, and uh, I mean that particular registries like cloud registries, private registries, some project organizations. Okay, so let's discuss about all this one by one. Okay, so coming to the public registries. Okay, basically it is a free and open source. The example for the public registry was the Docker Hub, which is a open source, and there is also one more thing, which is Quay.io. In the market we do have a multiple tools. Okay, but as per the use cases and as per the market, we do get some tools which is more popular. Among that, Docker Hub is the one of the popular registry. Okay, and uh, they do have a like paid or enterprise version also, and free tier also it is having. With the help of free tier, you cannot private your registry. Okay, that means let's say if you create a repository within your Docker Hub, then you cannot make it private. If you wanted to make it private, then you need to purchase go with enterprise version. Okay, so that is the like free tier as of now it is available. Okay, and coming to the cloud registry, which is sorry, private registry, like enterprises, AWS, Azure, Google, they do have a private registries. Okay, it is not a free service, it is a paid service. AWS have elastic container registry, Azure have Azure container registry, Google have Google container registry. Like that, they do maintain full uh, private registries which is integrated into their cloud services. Okay, so that is the private registries. And coming to the self-hosted, you can run your own registry on your server for complete control. Okay, and basically a self-hosted solution is the private registry example. Okay, sorry, self-hosted solution is the example for private registry. Okay, and maximum security in this. Okay, and here obviously in free tier we don't have like a private option itself, and we need to go with enterprise, and here we do have a private, but it is a paid. Okay, and coming to the project organization, like project images by teams, sorry, group images by teams and projects or environment also. Okay, so likewise the project will be managed in the organization. Okay, and coming to the next slide, which we are going to discuss about Docker push, pull, tag, what exactly this workflows, and some essential commands for I mean, these are some essential commands for let's say if you wanted to work with the registry. Okay, so sorry, yeah, this is the commands. Okay, and we are also going to see the workflow also. Let's discuss about the life cycle. Okay, this is the image Docker image life cycle. Okay, so basically the developer develops the code, and then he build a image, and then he tests that in a local. If it works well, then he will push into a Docker registry. Okay, so let's say if they wanted to deploy the same in a production, they will go to the production server, and then they just pull from a Docker registry, which is Docker hub. Okay, so here Docker registry is a centralized management system. Okay, so that is the image lifecycle here in the registry. Okay, and coming to here, commands, this is the command to build a image. Okay, Docker build -t, which is we are giving a name of the image as my app, and you are specifying your current directory where your application and its Docker file is available. Okay, and then tag for registry. Okay, let's say if you wanted to push the image into a registry, before that you need to tag it. Okay, this is the command docker tag and your existing current application, sorry, image name, and your, this is the tag. You can give your new image name also, and you can specify the version also, and this is your Docker username. Okay, Docker hub username. Okay, like whatever the registry is there, that username basically. Okay, and then coming to the push command, let's say if you wanted to push the image into a registry which is a Docker hub, then this is the command docker push username, and like whatever we have given the earlier tag, the same tag we are going to use here. Basically it will push the image into a Docker registry. Before pushing, it will ask for your Docker login, make sure to log in. Okay, and then let's say if you wanted to push the pull the image, that means we need to get the image from your Docker registry, then this is the command docker pull, and then uh, username, and then image name and tag. Okay, so this is the sequence need to be given, how exactly the command need to be structured. Okay, and coming to the real life DevOps examples, basically it will makes a team collaboration and CI/CD pipeline advantages also is there. We'll discuss about this. Let's say we have a scenario, e-commerce team with 5 developers working on a microservices project. So here they are getting a some collision, different environments is there, multiple services is there, and frequent updates they need to uh, deliver into that particular microservices. So in that particular case, CI/CD will came into picture. The solution for that was automated CI/CD pipeline using a Docker registry. Here they can set up this particular CI/CD pipeline, and then they can perform these challenges one by one. Let's say if they wanted to perform a frequent updates, they can develop and then just commit. It will work will be done till the deployment. And let's say they do have a multiple services, microservices, they can deploy the same thing in this particular way. Okay, so let us discuss about this. Basically they are going to commit the code, okay, into a target centralized repository, let's say any like GitHub or something like that. Okay, and then we are going to build the image out of it. Okay, and also we can set up a pipeline to trigger in such a way whenever there is a update in the source code. Okay, we can set up GitHub webhooks or cron syntax to achieve this. And then once the image is built, I mean this entire process is automated with the help of scripts, with the help of plugins. We are going to automate the things in pipeline management servers like Jenkins, GitHub Actions, GitLab CI/CD, Azure DevOps. These are like pipeline servers where we can automate this workflow, and then we can push to a registry, and then we can deploy that into a production by pulling that image into that particular server. Okay, so here a rolling updates process will be done in such a way where developer pushes a code changes, and then CI system builds a new image version, and then the image will be pushed to a registry with a new image tag, and then the Kubernetes will pull and deploys that gradually. there will be a zero downtime will be implemented, and deployment will be achieved seamlessly. Okay, so that is the use case, and real collaboration and CI/CD pipeline implementation will be done by using a like entire Docker and Docker registry, everything. Okay, and coming to the some best practices and tips, how exactly like professionally we need to manage the registry. Okay, so we'll discuss some pointers about that. Okay, smart tagging strategy. Okay, we need to make sure use a semantic versioning. Okay, like this is your big change, this is your small future, this is bug fix. Okay, like that. Let's say if you got a very big change in your application version, then you need to change it to v2. Let's say if you got a some new feature implemented, then it will go to 3. Then let's say if you found a new bug, then that will be fixed. Now you need to deploy into a new version, then you need to go with 4, like that. I mean, this is the hierarchy you need to be followed. That is basically a semantic versioning that need to be followed here. Okay, and environment tags also we can give whenever you are tagging. Make sure to use a semantic tagging, and environment specific like dev, staging, production, like that. And specify a meaningful tags instead of giving it some random tags names and numbers. Meaningful tag will be provided. Okay, and coming to the some security essential need to be considered. Use a private registries for proprietary code. Okay, so whenever you are dealing with especially organization, whenever you are practicing or your personal use case, you can use a public registries, github, sorry, a docker hub, like that. Whenever you are dealing with like proprietary code and some sensitive data, in that particular case you can go with private registries only. And also scan the images for vulnerabilities by using Trevi, Snake, like that. Okay, that is also one of the security best practice. And implement across, sorry, implement access control. So who can access, and who can have a access to pull the image, and who can push that image to a registry. Is it open to everyone, like that? You can set up a certain permissions. Okay, and performance optimization, these are the some best practices need to be followed. Make sure to keep the image size very small, and use a multi-stage build in your docker file, and then leverage a layer caching. I mean, we need to use the caching in the docker file to decrease the layers in the docker image. Okay, and clean up the old images. That is also one of the best practice. And coming to the some interview tips, uh, these are the some key points you need to remember whenever you are preparing for interviews and preparing the concepts. Mostly it will be asked in such a way like explain the registry as a centralized image storage. Okay, and mention Docker Hub as most common example. Okay, why? Because it is most popular and it is easy to use. And demonstrate what is pull, what is push command. Okay, and discuss about the security considerations, show understanding of CI/CD integration, and compare the public versus private registries trade-offs. Okay, so these are some interview tips and some best practices. I think so we have covered good pointers regarding the Docker registry. Basically registry. Okay, most probably Docker registry. Okay, and other than Docker registries also, like the platforms works in similar manner. I mean, the purpose of the platform will be the same, and they do have a dedicated like features, private and isolated, and use cases will be might be different. Okay, and the purpose will be the same. Okay, yeah, I think we are good to conclude, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much for watching the video.